How to do a CMA in the new REALM platform? Yes, my friends, that's what today's video is all about. I'm gonna walk you through from A to the final stages, Z, if you will, on how to use the CMA in the REALM platform, from your property that you want to be listing or submitting a CMA for, to selecting properties, and then the final output information. How do we share that, whether it's in a PDF or virtually on your laptop or iPad? We're going to do that today. All this and more right after the intro. Okay, my friends, the CMA. Many of you have asked for this video. I'm going to show you a little hack on how I select properties, and I'm not going to allow the system to select it for me, even though it will. I want control over that, and I'll show you how I do that. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to share my screen and get right into it. Well, here's our REALM dashboard, as I'm sure you're becoming quite familiar with. And to get to the REALM CMA, we are going to go to the very top of the screen on the right-hand corner over here and click the dice. I call it the dice. I don't know if that's what it's called, but I call it the dice. And right at the very top, you should see REALM CMA. Should it not be there, or you're having trouble finding absolutely anything, my favorite thing to do is use this search bar, and I'm going to simply type in CMA, and you can see it filters right down to what I need. Go ahead and click that blue icon. And this will show you all the previous CMAs that you've created before. And if you have many, they'll all be lined up here. And today, I'm going to show you a couple of things. In fact, I'm going to enter in an address that I know this property has been listed in the past. So we're going to use some of that information. However, many of us do list properties that have never been listed on the MLS. Like maybe it was a brand new home when your clients purchased it. You can manually enter in the information right here. But for today's case and the example that we're going to use is we're going to use a property that's already been on the Toronto Real Estate Board, and that is going to be 27 Burt. And we're going to look for that property. It should be down here, Burt Trait Lane, right here in Stillville. So we're going to create this CMA for townhouses in the Stillville area, and that's what we're going to filter down, and I'll show you how to pull all that right now. So we've selected this property. We hit create, hit the big blue button, and the first thing that the system wants you to do is to go search properties for you. Now, you might remember me saying, I don't want that. It's a great feature. However, I like to have a little bit or more control over the properties that it selects. And I'm going to show you what I do when it comes back to that. I'm going to do that myself. So back to our screen share, I'm going to click skip because I don't want the system to do that. And here's the listing that we're going to do a CMA on. You can see here, it has all the information from the previous MLS listing, which is fantastic. And I can choose anyone that I want. And I'm just going to go through this and verify that nothing's changed. It hasn't gone from 2 bedrooms to 10 bedrooms, that type of thing. And in some cases, maybe your clients have added a basement, finished basement, and created another bathroom down there. So you can add all this information there as well. And just making sure you're updating it. Maybe they have added a pool, that type of thing. This is where you can update it. It's really, really handy. Should you ever want to see this particular listing again, you click this and it'll open up into a new window, as you can see right here. So that's our previous listing. I'm going to hit the back button, and there you have it. So, Gare, we need to add listings to this property. Well, the next, as I follow from left to right along the top, you can see we're on the subject property right now. And if I go to add comparable properties, there's nothing in here. I want to show you a couple of things, in fact, and something that is very, very important that I know I've had some questions on. I'm going to zoom out the map just a wee bit here. So this is where that listing that we're doing a CMA is for. However, it has a $0 price. And you might say to yourself, well, I know this home sold for X dollars. Why is it 0? That's because we've not provided a value for it, or a CMA value for it. So it's going to default to 0. Should you want to, and I only point this out right now because I know we've had questions on that, you're going to go back to the subject property tab, and you're going to see the list price, and you can put in any number in here. So if we selected $1 million and then hit add comparable properties once again, you can see that that has now changed. So what we're suggesting to the client, perhaps in this case, is a fair market value for this home is $1 million. So I use this wisely. Everyone does and presents their CMAs a little bit different. So use this to the best of your skill set and how you want to present your CMA. This is not how to present CMA video. This is how to prepare for the CMA. So I'm going to take this out just so we're all on the same page at this moment, and you can see it now defaults back to 0. Okay, but we need to add properties. How do we do that? Well, the blue button at the very top here, you can click Add Listing. So if we knew this specific property we wanted to add by the MLS or the address, we can certainly do that here. And let me hit Cancel. Next would be Add from a Saved List. That is the cat's out of the bag. That is my favorite thing to do. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Add from a saved search, or if I click Find Comparables, it will go back to that system and wanting to do that for us. Let me hit Cancel there, and I am going to create a saved list and add the properties that way. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to open up a new tab, and I already have one open here. Let me go back to the main dashboard. And I'm going to click the blue magnifying glass to take us to my most recent search. So you can see here, I'm in the Stouffville area. Let me zoom out so some of you can get a familiarity where that is. And now all the listings pop up. But I only want to search for townhouses in Stouffville. Well, just as a quick reminder, we're going to click our location button and community. I'm going to skip area, municipality, and community, and I'm just going to start typing in Stouffville here and select that, and it'll zoom me right into Stouffville. Excellent. But at the moment, I'm looking up all types of properties, and I'm going to go to my freehold, and I'm going to select townhouse properties. Now, I'm looking for homes, as you can tell, that are currently for sale. And let me zoom in a little bit, because the area that we're most interested in is this area right over here, because that's where Burt Trite is located. And I'm going to select, again, everyone does a little bit differently. I like to select 5 properties that are currently on the market and 5 properties that have sold as close as today's date as possible. So let's select our 5. And I'm going to do that by viewing the homes over here and on the map. So I'll do it a couple of different ways. So obviously, if I zoom in a little bit more, you can see that this home right here listed for $888 is on Burt Trite Lane. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to select that property. Now, you might want to go into a little bit deeper and actually read the listing, which I suggest you do, to make sure that there's, whether or not you need to know whether or not they're holding offers, and that'll have an effect on the price and that type of thing. And go ahead and do that. So you can, I've already selected up there. Let me hit the back button. I think this is going to be a good comp because I know the area. Now, this is an end unit, so you might want to take note of that when you're making your presentation. I'm going to select that one as well. And so now we have 2 of the 5 that I'm looking for. This one up here, another end unit. So we're going to take note of that one more time when we're talking to our clients. Let me zoom out a little bit because I want to see a few more properties. So you might say, well, how many properties have I selected, Gare? Well, let me show you how to do that. We're going to change our layout to go to table or map plus table. Let's do map plus table. And I like to use this shrink button. I call it a shrink button, or it's actually called the narrow button. And if I click that, it'll show me that I have 3 properties selected. So that's how you narrow down to see what you're looking for. And if you want to expand it, you hit the expand button right here. And I know I'm looking for a few more properties. Let's look at this one. Yep, this is going to be a good comp, although sold conditionally. So you're going to make note of that as well. And I'm going to be looking at, let's say, this property here. Yeah, this one looks like a good comp. Let me click right into it. And again, this is not, how to create or why why we're creating the CMA. This is just a quick overview of how to do it. So we've got that. So now I know I have 5 properties selected. How do I know that? Well, again, I'm on the map plus table or the table layout, and I'm going to click the narrow button, and I can see 4 properties. So I'm short 1. So let me just zoom out a little bit because, and I'm going to show you why. I thought I had 5 selected. Let me do that one more time. No, I'm wrong. So a couple of things here I want you to note on. Where I have the map located is also going to affect the properties that show up. But I need one more property, don't I? So let me look at another listing here, and we're going to add this just so we have the 5 that we're after. And now if I select this, we have 5. Yeah, excellent. Now I have them all 5 selected, and I need to save this to create a list. So I'm going to hit my top right-hand arrow, and I'm going to add to list. And I'm going to call it, I'm going to click My List, click New, and we're going to call this 27 BT for short, Burt Trait just for short, and click Add. Now they've been added. Now we need our sold properties. Well, pretty easy. So if you are on this view, you're going to click the Unavailable over here. On the right-hand side, I'm going to select the Sold. I only want to, of course, look at sold properties. Now, the big thing here is we need to filter that date. Don't worry about the slider, especially if you're looking for as close as today as possible. Just ignore this slider for now, and you're going to scroll down, and you're going to do the sold date. Of course, I want properties as close as today as possible. Let's just try July 1st. I don't know if we're going to have enough properties in here. Looks like we do, actually. Looks like we have 5, but let's just make that a little bit further out. We'll do one more month just to make sure we're seeing the right type of properties in here. So you can see those properties come up here. This is the area that we're looking at. And again, just for the sake of getting things done, I'm going to just start selecting these properties. Oh, you can do it a couple of different ways, obviously. Let me hit back. So let me just select all of these properties. And how many do I have? I think I have 4, now 5. I can verify that. Yeah, there's the 5 properties. I want to add these 5 properties now to the list because these are going to go towards my comps. Of course, I'm doing much more research, my friends, if that's the case, if I'm creating a true comparable for the listing that we're after. I'm going to add them to the list. Hit My List, and I see 27 BT. That's what we named the previous list. And you can see 5 items have been added to that list. Now, if I ever want to see that list, I'm going to click on Contacts, and it defaults to where I was most recently. So usually it'll come in on Contact. Make sure you're highlighted on your name here. Click Lists. Of course, there's the BT, 27 BT, and you can see the 10 listings there. And if I just click that name there, you can see all the listings show up. And if you ever wanted to see them on a map, you can certainly do that. Click the blue button over here, the arrow button, and click search, and it'll show you those 10 listings, which is helpful. Okay, how do we add them to the CMA? Pretty easy. This is what we're going to do. Back to our CMA page, click our blue button at the top here, and you're going to add from saved list. Again, this is my preferred way of doing it. Click My Lists, choose the list that's appropriate, of course, 27 BT in this case. And do I want to import all 10 properties? You still have that choice of selecting or deselecting properties should you wish. And I can certainly click Add. And you can see Replace here as well. So if we need to swap some properties out in future, and maybe we're doing some homework today, but our CMA, we're not presenting our CMA till next week, perhaps. You might want to replace some properties by then, especially if a week has gone by and you've got some sales happening. There you have it. So everything's has been updated. You can move these around a little bit. So if you want all your solds together, which I would prefer that, that's my preferred way. So I can certainly just grab these. Hang on a second. I'm gonna grab the solds and put them together like this. You can sort them in any which way that you want. And of course, we're gonna move this one up, Northwest Passage, any which way you want. The next tab is Adjustments. And a lot of people do like writing right on to the PDF or the notes themselves, their notes. I actually prefer handwritten, so I'll do handwritten. You do whatever you like. and you can make adjustments here through your notes and adjustments should maybe one of the homes or two, remember 2 of these homes or 3 of these homes are end units and our comparable or the comp that we're doing on the property that we're doing is not. So that's going to add value to it. So you can do it that way as well. And you can go through each property if you need to cycle through them. They're at the top here, cycle through the properties, very, very standard. And the subject property will remain static, as you can see. Customized contact is our next feature here. And we can do a number of different things. So these are the pages that REALM has produced for us, and maybe for some, we don't need to include the demographics or the price comparison or what have you. And if you wanted, obviously these can be moved around by grabbing the hamburger there and adjusting them. We can upload our own PDF. So maybe you've done some market stats elsewhere and you want to upload them here. You can certainly do that. Each one of these can have, you can edit it a little bit. So your title page, you can go and name it something else should you want to do that. Subject property details, you can add a little bit of information here as well. Now the next tab is customize your appearance. So of course, what's the CMA's title? So it's taken the title of what we called at the very beginning. Of course, you're going to verify that this information is correct. And I know a lot of us perhaps work with a partner or we're working on a team, and maybe we need to add a sales person to the CMA, or we want to do that. You just simply click this and your brokerage will come up. So everyone in your brokerage will come up here, and you can certainly add one of the agents to this as well. So we'll leave Christine on this for this example. Now, the next would be share and export, but perhaps before you want to do that, at the very top on the right-hand corner here, you can see preview. Go ahead and click that preview button, give the system a moment, and this is what it will look like from the laptop or your iPad. And again, a lot of people do choose to do their CMAs or present their CMAs through their laptop. I'm one of them. I'll do both. I'm digital and I like having a hard copy, and that's for different reasons. So here, these are all clickable, all of these buttons here. And if I wanted to click on the subject property details, I go ahead and do that. And you can see that price estimate is 0. If you remember at the beginning of the video, we talked about that. So here's the information about the subject property. At the very bottom here is your navigation. Let me just move my video screen just up ever so slightly. Then you can see that. The next would be the comparable. So this is part of the stats that it's built into it. Then we're going to see so these are all these are all the properties we've provided. And you can see that it's created instant stats for us, which is really, really cool. Then we go into the property list. So of course, this is what we have. This is the properties that we pulled out. And then you can do a property side-by-side, which a lot of people like as well. If you notice, I'm not able to click on this to see the images of the property. That's why sometimes I like to do a printed PDF, or I'll have my laptop ready so we can see some of the images as well. And then of course, your this is your comparable property details. It does take a moment for the system to create the PDF for you, and then it'll download right to your laptop, your computer. Hit download, it goes to your download folders. Excellent. So let's hit done. And of course, you can email it to your client as well. They'll get this link here should you need to do that. So let's look to see what the PDF looks like. Now, here's the PDF version, and there's a few things that I want to make note of. Of course, it's got today's date on it, the address, myself, and then Christine. We added Christine, if you recall that. And I went too fast. There's page 2, so the table of contents. The next page would be, let's see, page 3, the subject property. Page 4 is going to be those stats that we saw on the digital version. And then our comparable property list. This is one of my favorite pages, my friends, because I'm visual, and I like showing the clients the mapped. We always like to pull properties that are very close, not only in style and in price, of course, value, but where they're located as well. The next would be the side-by-side. So that gives us some of the listing details here as well. And there should be a couple of pages of that. Yeah. And what I like here as well, I should say, is this first property is your subject property. So that's helpful. And then, one more because we did 5 and 5. The property pages will show a maximum of 4 plus the subject property. And then we get into, more of the little details here. You might find it helpful to have the actual MLS listing. Maybe you have that saved in as a document for yourself as well. As I scroll through all 10 properties, and you can see here, it indicates whether this one's sold or, of course, this one PC price change, so that's still available. Your price comparison, the demographics, and a couple of pages of that. And that's the end of it. So with all that said, there's quite a bit of information here. The one thing that it doesn't have, that I should say, is I like being able to show all of the pictures within the listings as well, because we all know pictures, they say 1,000 words. And again, that's personal preference. So you can choose how you want to do that. And I like to print out the pictures and put them together with my printed copy, but everyone does their CMAs a little bit differently and presents them a little bit differently. This is how you create a CMA within REALM. Let me go back to the screen share real quick here and show you how to, open one up that you previously had. So let's go back to our screen share. There we are. So this is the end of, we're finished with this one. So I can go and click on the CMAs. That'll take us back to our list. And I can easily just click on any one of these to take us back in and start editing what needs to happen. So as an example, I mentioned that perhaps we're presenting this property or this CMA next week, and I need to go to add comparable properties because I need to remove one and add one. And I can simply click one of these listings here. So now that 25 Sunbury Lane has been highlighted or clicked, and I can delete this one comparable. And should I do that, now that system's done that, and I can add maybe the one. We know one that just sold or just came on to market. We want to make sure that gets on here and hit add listing. And I would just enter in that MLS number, as it were. One day we'll get this big to many MLS numbers, but you can see that's how you would do that. So there you have it, my friends. That is how we do CMAs within REALM. Thanks again for watching. Of course, reach out to me, Gary McGowan, at realtychatter.com. I'm happy to help in any which way. Bye for now.